Hey everybody, welcome back to the series Intro to Charting in the Behavioral Sciences. This is tutorial number 23, which is moving forward on putting together a multiple baseline plot that is stitched together as part of one overall figure. Right now, we're picking up where we left off, where we have phase change lines, but we don't really have anything that connects them together. Now, there's a couple options for doing this by manually drawing individual lines and then really kind of tweezering them to kind of hug each other and then dragging them left and right whenever the chart changes. For some people, they're okay living with that, but we have some ways that makes that a lot easier. So before we get into making that fancy type of connector, I'm just going to go back into my sheet and I'm going to draw a label for my baseline and treatment. So I'm going to go to Insert up here, text box, and I'm going to draw one that says baseline, I'm going to draw one more that says treatment. I'm going to say this one, let's say it's FC, like it's functional communication plus extinction. I'm going to go into this box, I'm going to format it, and for this one I'm going to say I don't want a line around the box, but I do want to take the font and change it to Times New Roman. We'll increase the size to 12. We'll change the color to black, and then we could resize that just a little bit. I'm going to style the other box the same way. I'm going to right click on it, format the shape, and we're going to turn off the line around it. We're going to reselect this whole box. We're going to go to fonts Times New Roman. We're going to bump it to 12. And then we'll just resize that box a little bit. Now I'm going to take this baseline box, I'm going to go to Cut, I'm going to go to My Baseline, I'm going to select this side edge, and then I'm going to go to Paste. And I am just going to drag it up there, and I'm just going to resize this box so it doesn't cover anything up. Yeah. I'll save it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe make that a little bit shorter. Right click on it. I'm going to go up to Cut. I'm going to go back to my figure. I'm going to select the side so this whole box gets selected. I'm going to go to Paste. And I'm going to drag this treatment text box over. So now once it's all connected, it'll be really clear to the reader that everything to the left of this connected line is a baseline, even though that the symbols are different. So to make this fancy connector, some people have used this elbow bracket that used to be like almost like a sideways S. But it has this thing where it tends to flip left and right, and every time you try to change it, it tends to go crazy. So it tends to be more of a headache than it's worth. But good news, we could put together something that's surprisingly much easier. But before we do that, let's go back to our sheet. And we're going to draw it here. What we want to do is we want to go to Insert up here, and we want to insert a shape. But we want to click on this simple line. So to draw a line, and let's remember to use that Shift key so it only locks into straight looking lines that aren't crooked. And we'll draw one going down. We'll make sure that we tell Excel to make it a black line. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Insert. We're going to go to Shapes. I'm going to go Line. And this time, we're going to draw a sideways line. And we're going to make it straight and flat sideways. And we're going to make it black. Now, historically, people are used to really trying to line these things up by eye, which is, I'm going to be honest, is not easy. Because you got this little white thing that you never really can see past. And that's an issue, because every once in a while, when you have to change it over or resize it, you really have to really kind of zero in on them. But there's a way that we could link these two together so that they're always kind of linked at this edge, which is really useful because this edge is very annoying to redo over and over and over, especially if every change in your chart really makes you have to move 6 things. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Excel do the hard work. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this line, and we're going to hold Control or the select key on Mac, so we see this little plus come up when we hit the other one, and you'll see that both of these are highlighted. What we want to do now is we want to go up to Drawing Tools, and we're going to go to Align. And what this is going to tell Excel is to automatically scoot things over and connect them in some way. So right now, we really want to align it left. So that'll put it right to the edge of each other. So if we click this, we see that these two kind of ends are connected perfectly at the left. Now they're not touching each other perfectly yet because one's higher. But we could do that by going back into Align and say, let's align them at the bottom now. So right now we have this really clean edge that has that really clean angle. What we want to do is tell Excel, all right, let's group these lines. So we'll hit Group. Now, what Excel is going to do is it's going to connect these lines. And what we see here is we have this nice L shape that if we wanted to connect lines, all we got to do is really resize it. And this is all kind of linked as one object. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this object. We're not going to cut it since we want to use another one later, but we're going to go up here to Copy. And we're going to go to My Multiple Baseline. I'm going to click on this left edge, and then we're going to hit Paste. And then over top, what we see is we have this L shape, and what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of drop it right on top. And once that's lined up, all we really got to do is take this left edge, and it'll slide over perfectly straight, which is really useful because if you ever have to move this line, this phase change line, you just resize it left or right, however you need. And once it's pretty close, you can go to this bottom edge and just resize down. Excel's pretty good about helping you out with this one, so it tends to just make makes things a lot easier because you don't have that eye strain of really trying to eyeball, how close those things actually are. We're going to go back into My Sheet. We'll pick this again. We'll grab another copy. We'll go back to My Multiple Baseline. We'll click on this right edge. Oh, we don't want that. We want to click on this very far right edge, and we'll hit Paste. And then we'll take this other one, and we'll drop it in there so that that left edge is lined up. We'll slide it over until it's just touching. That looks good, and then we'll just slide this up. I think I actually do better than that. Let's go. Yeah, that's pretty good. So right now, things are looking pretty good. We'll see that for the most part, these lines look pretty close. And if you were ever in the situation that you wanted to really kind of resize something like this, you have these really nice handles that really kind of simplify all the dragging and dropping. So if you ever wanted to extend out your data, the only thing that you would have to do is maybe shorten this over to follow this other line. So ideally, once you have a plot set up like this, you really shouldn't have to be redrawing and dragging individual lines because you've got this nice handy figure here that just kind of lets you very easily kind of drag and drop. So let's see how close we got. I think we got just about all of the components that we wanted. I think maybe, no, looks pretty good. So I think we got just about everything we wanted to done. We got all of our axes lined up. We have a shared y-axis. We have labels that give information on each of these individual subplots. Our markers are lined up, and we have these very clear boundaries that let the reader know that everything up here labeled as baseline kind of carries over down here, and all these treatment conditions and these treatment kind of classifications are kind of carried down on this side of the line. So if you haven't done it before, congratulations on making your first complex plot with individual subplots. And for you folks that have done this before, I hope working with this custom figure, this L shape, might have made your life a little bit easier when you design and update your multiple baseline plots. Until next time, stay tuned to the website and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.